welcome back to Dino Kids. I hope you are safe and healthy. So today's video is again a DIY daily practice worksheets of day 5. Till now I have shared for day 1, day 2, 3 and 4. Today I am going to share for the day 5. I have just listed down all the topics which I really want Amish to do on this particular day, right? But before starting the video, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, then please do subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get all the regular notification. And moreover, this video is in both languages, Hindi and English. If you want to watch in English, continue with this video. और अगर आप ये वीडियो हिंदी में देखना चाहते हो तो उसका लिंक मैं नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में दिया, उस पर क्लिक कीजिए और आप पूरी वीडियो जो है वो हिंदी में देख पाएंगे, right? So now let's get started and see our first worksheet. So in our first worksheet, I had just given Amish to write 2-letter words. I had just introduced these 2-letter words in a dictation form, as Amish is very much a form with the sounds. For example, I asked him to write at, so he wrote it as at, right? For example, in another case, I asked him to write un, un, right? Un, likewise, right? So in this way, he has just completed this worksheet. After that, I have just recently given introduction of vowels and consonants to Amish. So for that practice, I have just given him this worksheet. In this worksheet, randomly, I have just written some of the letters here, and I asked him to circle all the vowels here, right? So as you could see, he has circled all the vowels A, E, I, O, U, right? And then he's supposed to count all these vowels. For example, A, right? So first he have to circle the all A in these letters, and then he is supposed to count. So he counted till 4. Right, so 4A are there, so he's supposed to write 4 here. In the same way, he's supposed to circle and count all other vowels here as well, right? So in this way, he's completed this worksheet. This kind of worksheets are really helpful when you are just giving introduction to the child about certain topic. After that, our next worksheet is read, find and color. So here in this worksheet, what I had done, I had just written some of the CVC words here, as you could see, right? And to each CVC word, I have given one particular color, right? For example, as you could see here, it's hat, and it should be of blue color. So child would find the picture of a hat here, which is here, and then would color it blue. Right? In the same way, if I take it as at bat, and it should be of green color, so child first read, identify the color, and then find the picture and color it green, right? In the same way, child is supposed to complete this worksheet by first reading, then looking at the color, and then finding the picture and color accordingly, right? This kind of worksheets are really useful as they are interactive worksheets, and kids really love to this type of worksheet. After that, our next worksheet is a rhyme time worksheet. Basically, it's a rhyming word worksheet. So here what I have done, I have just drawn some of the pictures, right? And here I have just put the first letter blank here, right, as you could see. And at the right side of it, again I had done the same thing. I just have a picture and I've put the first blank here, right? So what child is supposed to do, child is supposed to fill the first letter, beginning sound basically here, and child would understand that the last 2 letters of each word here makes a rhyme, right? So for example, it's a ox box, for ox fox, at rat, at bat, in bin, in pin, likewise, right? So child would write the beginning sounds here, and side by side he would understand that the last 2 letters makes a rhyming word, right? So this type of concept really helps the child when they learn about the rhyming word. After that, our next worksheet is a maths worksheet, in which I asked Amish to write counting from 75 to 88, right? So Amish just started from 75 and he just completed it till 88, right? This is moreover a concept of in between counting, which I usually give Amish to practice. After that, these days I'm giving practice to Amish about reverse counting also, right? So for that part, I have just given him this worksheet, which he has done nicely. Here I'm using notebooks, not the white papers or any other notebook, because I just really want Amish to follow his school notebooks as well. I really do not want Amish to miss his school practice works, right? So for that purpose, I give these worksheets in this kind of notebooks, right? After that, our next worksheet is before and after numbers. So here what I have done, I simply wrote some of the random numbers here, and I left blank at the both side of that number, right? So after number, and then before number, right? So for example, 1 after number is 2 and 1 before number is 0, right? If I take another example, which is 15, so after number is 16 and before number is 14. So using one worksheet, you actually teaching both concept to the child, before and after, right? Amish has completed this worksheet nicely. He's just wrote before and after number of all the numbers which I given him. After that, our next worksheet is about greater number, right? So child is supposed to circle the greater number here. So for this worksheet, I have just wrote some of the random numbers here, and child is supposed to circle the greater. For example, it's 88 and 89. So 89 is the greater, so child is supposed to circle this one, right? So this time I have given a huge worksheet to Amish only and only about the greater number. I ask him to do it completely by himself, right? So that I can check later on what he has done right and what he has done wrong, so that accordingly I can judge that whether he has grasped the greater number concept rightly, or we still need to do more work about the greater number concepts, right? So for that purpose, I have given him a huge big worksheet of greater number this time. So after this, our next worksheet is my personal favorite and Amish also, because it includes play as well as learning, right? As you could see, it's roll and add worksheet, right? So for this worksheet, you really need a dice, and whatever comes through the dice, child just have to put the number there to add. For example, it's 3, right? So child would write 3 here, so 3 plus 1 equals to 4. So now child would color here 4 columns in the 10 frame, right? After that, if I roll the dice again, it comes out to be 6, right? So I would write 6 here, so 6 plus 1 equals to 7. Now child would color 7 frames in 10 frame here, right? So this kind of worksheets are really helpful where the child play as well as learn something new, right? So a child really love to do this kind of worksheet, and I always try to include this type of worksheets in daily practice worksheet of Amish. After that, our next worksheet is addition and subtraction worksheet. So in this worksheet, I just given some random sum for addition and subtraction to Amish for practice. So here, as you could see, I asked Amish to do this on his fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many he's supposed to add now? 2. So 1, 2. Now he's supposed to count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So 6 become our answer. Likewise, I asked him to solve all other equations here, which he has done nicely, right? After this, our next worksheet is do varno ke shab, that means 2-letter word, right? So for that, I have just asked Ramesh to write down in dictation form. I asked him to write kal, and he wrote it as kala kal. Then I asked him to write as pat, and he wrote it as pata pat, right? So this kind of shotlek, or you can say dictations, are very useful when you are teaching 2-letter word, or when you really want to know that whether child has grasped that concept nicely or not. So shotlek or dictation helps in that way. Next worksheet is again a Hindi worksheet. It's more about chitra dekh ke shabdon ko pura karo. That means to complete the letter by seeing the picture, right? So here I have just written the beginning sound, and Amish is supposed to write the ending sounds, right? So here first child is just supposed to see the picture, which is ghar. So gha I already wrote, so child is supposed to write r, ghar, ghar. So fa I already wrote. Now Amish is supposed to write la here to complete it as fala, fal. Now jaga, jug, right? So likewise, child is supposed to complete this worksheet. This kind of worksheet really helps when you are teaching 2-letter of words to the child, right? After that, our next worksheet is copy the patterns. So for this, I had just made some patterns here, random patterns you can say, and child is supposed to copy exactly the same here. So here first pattern is a cross pattern. So child is supposed to make a cross pattern here using the dots. Again, in the second one, I just made a random pattern, and Amish has copied that very well. In the same way, as you could see, random patterns you can ask the child to copy, right? This kind of worksheets are really helpful for the brain development of the child, right? You must include at least one worksheet of this type in a daily practice worksheet of the child. After that, the next worksheet of the same type is imitate the picture. So for that I have just drawn a simple image here, a hut, tree and a sun, and child is supposed to copy the same here, right? I just make all these worksheets on my laptop, right? But in case if you do not have time to do so, you can simply take a pen and paper and you can draw it and then ask the child to copy the same, right? And this kind of worksheet really help for the brain development. Moreover, they looks very cute when child do that, right? So this is one of my favorite worksheet. After that, our next worksheet is dinosaur count and graph. So for this, basically what I have done, I had just drawn some of the dinosaur randomly. Basically 4 categories I have mentioned here, as you could see, right? So basically this is a colorful worksheet, but I do have only a black and white printer so that this looks black and white to you. Otherwise it's a colorful worksheet, right? So a child, what child is supposed to do, first child would see the dinosaurs and then would count them, and accordingly child would color the graph, right? So for example, if you look at this dinosaur, so first child would count these dinos, 1 2 3, right? So child would count and then graph these 3 columns here, right? In the same way child would do for other 2 dinos, right? So this kind of interactive activities or worksheets really help the child in terms of visual perception, in terms of brain development, in terms of counting, right? So many benefits of this type of worksheet. After that, our last worksheet is about tell the time, right? So for here, I have just randomly drawn a clock here, but I have not written the time around it. Child is supposed to do that, which is our first question. Also, write the numbers around the clock in the correct place, right? So child is supposed to write the time around it, which you could see Amish has written here till 12. This type of activities really help the child to understand the time around the clock. After that, next question is write the correct time. So child is supposed to look at the hour and minute hand and write the time here, which is 3 o'clock, along with AM and PM concept. After the third one is using a red pencil circle the hour hand. So this kind of question really helps the child to understand about the hour hand, the minute hand concept, right? So here he's supposed to color the red to the hour hand, which he has done. After that, using a blue pencil circle the minute hand, blue to the minute hand, right? So child is supposed to circle that. After that, what time will it be 1 hour after the current displayed time, right? So earlier it was 3 o'clock, so 1 hour after would be 4 p.m, right? So child is supposed to write that. After that, what time was it 1 hour before the current display time? So here before concept comes, right? So child is supposed to write before 3 o'clock, 1 hour before, right? So it's 2 o'clock, right? 2 p.m you can say. Likewise, child is supposed to complete this time worksheet. Hope you found this video useful. If that's so, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. And in our coming video, we are coming with more brain teasers, visual perception, concentration activities as well. So stay tuned with us, and thank you so much for watching. If you find this video useful, then please like, and if you tried this with your child, then please share your feedback in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.